What if one letter changed your entire life? What if your past was a lie? And what if powerful people were hunting you? Welcome to Quiet English Story. In The Letter in the Rain, you will learn English through mystery, danger, secrets, and unforgettable endings. Every chapter teaches real English, easy grammar, new vocabulary, and powerful storytelling. Put on your headphones and enter the rain. The lighthouse door slammed shut below. Daniel's body became tense. Someone was inside. No, not someone. Several people. Heavy footsteps echoed through the narrow stairway. Slow, careful, dangerous. Daniel quickly grabbed the flash drive and placed it inside his jacket. Then he looked around the dusty room for another exit. There was none. The only way out was the staircase, and the men were already climbing it. Daniel forced himself to stay calm. Panic destroys judgment. His father had taught him that. The footsteps grew louder, 1 floor below him now. Then a voice spoke from the darkness. "Daniel, listen carefully," the man said. "There is nowhere left to run." Daniel recognized the voice immediately. The stranger from the train station, the man with the black coat. Daniel stepped backward slowly. Rain crashed against the lighthouse windows while thunder shook the sky above the sea. The entire tower felt alive, watching, waiting, hunting. Then Daniel noticed something beside the old wooden desk, a rusted emergency ladder attached to the outside wall of the lighthouse. It led down toward the cliffs near the ocean. But the storm outside was violent. One mistake would mean death. The footsteps stopped outside the room. Silence. Then the doorknob slowly turned. Daniel made his decision instantly. The door burst open. 3 armed men rushed inside, but Daniel had already climbed through the window. Wind exploded against his body. Rain blinded his eyes. Below him, black waves smashed against the rocks like monsters. "Stop him!" someone shouted behind him. Daniel climbed downward carefully while the ladder shook violently beneath him. 1 step, another. Then, bang! A gunshot tore through the storm. The bullet struck the metal ladder beside his hand. Daniel almost lost his grip. Above him, one of the men leaned out the window with a gun. "You are carrying something that does not belong to you," the man shouted. Daniel ignored him and kept climbing. His hands burned, his muscles screamed, but he refused to stop. Finally, he jumped from the ladder onto the wet rocks below. Pain shot through his ankle, but he stood up immediately. Then he saw something shocking. Near the edge of the cliffs, a black car waited beside the road, and standing beside the car was his mother. Daniel froze. The wind moved through her dark hair as she looked directly at him. "Hurry!" she cried. "They're coming!" Gunshots echoed behind him again. Daniel ran toward the car while shadows moved inside the lighthouse above. He opened the passenger door and jumped inside. His mother pressed the accelerator hard. The tires screamed against the wet road. The black car raced into the storm. For several minutes, nobody spoke. Daniel breathed heavily. Questions filled his mind. Finally, he looked at her. "You said my father wanted to protect me," he said quietly. She nodded. "Then tell me the truth." Her hands tightened on the steering wheel. He discovered that Black in Black was not only controlling governments, She paused. They were creating wars. Daniel's blood turned cold. What? His mother looked ahead at the dark road. Your father found proof that thousands of deaths were planned for profit. Daniel stared at the flash drive hidden inside his jacket. Suddenly, headlights appeared behind them. 3 black vehicles were following fast. His mother looked into the mirror, her face filled with fear. They found us! One of the black vehicles accelerated violently toward them, and Daniel realized the men chasing them were willing to kill everyone on the road to recover the flash drive. Could Daniel and his mother survive the deadly chase, or was this the end of their escape?
Now, let's look at the grammar rule from this chapter. In each episode, we will study one important grammar rule used in the story. I will explain when we use it, how to form it, and show you clear examples from the story and from everyday life. Don't worry if grammar seems difficult. When you learn grammar through stories, you see how native speakers use it in real situations, and that makes it much easier to understand and remember. My advice is simple. Don't try to memorize every rule immediately. Focus on understanding the meaning, listen to the examples, and repeat them aloud. With regular practice, grammar will become natural to you. Take your time, practice a little every day, and most importantly, enjoy the learning process. By learning grammar through stories, you will not only memorize rules, you will truly understand how English works in real life. You will see how grammar is used naturally in conversations, thoughts, and everyday situations. Instead of studying isolated sentences, you will experience English in context, which makes it easier to understand, remember, and use confidently. Now, let's learn 5 useful words from this chapter. For each word, I will explain its meaning in simple English and give you an example sentence to show you how it is used in real life. Learning vocabulary through stories is one of the best ways to remember new words because you see them in context, not as isolated words. My advice is to write each new word in a notebook, create your own example sentence, and review the words regularly. Thank you for joining me on Quiet English Stories channel. I hope you enjoyed today's story and learned some new English words and grammar in a natural and relaxing way. Remember, the best way to improve your English is to listen every day, learn a little at a time, and enjoy the process. If you liked this story, don't forget to subscribe to Quiet English Stories channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new chapter. Keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and little by little, your English will become stronger and more natural. See you in the next story. Happy learning!